like I said, sharing is caring, and people sometimes, when you're in a lot of need, you don't realize that there's a form of reciprocity that has to take place, and when that happens, people think that it's about money, and that's not true. That's not what it's about. It's not about money. It's actually about exchange of energy. And money is a form of energy. But that's not the only form of energy. So sometimes if you're like, okay, well, I need this help, I need whatever, yada, 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 but I don't have any money, you don't have to. You can share. Hey, there's this person that actually helped me with this thing, and maybe it might help you. And I know that you're struggling with this, and that person gets information, and then they get helped, and they're like, oh my God, you were so right. This person helped. It's like, oh, okay. That's very helpful. However, sometimes that may not be the only way of sharing. There could
Hmm.
be just even talking to somebody, just letting them, know there's somebody said something, and it really affected me and it helped me a lot, and this is what they said, and that helps that person. You're passing on good information and help. That's also a form of help and sharing. Saying all this to just like, share, and subscribe all my stuff if you see it. And if I send you this free link, if you know somebody that actually wants to get some help or is interested in this or you think can benefit from this, please share the link. Again, it's free. Okay? So I'm also going through huge shifts and changes. I don't know if you guys know this yet, but I have another website or another page. It's called It's the Shift with Gigi Star, because the other page that I had was, I guess, shadow banned, and they're telling me that everything is fine on their end, but it's like you can't tell me that I've posted some videos and nobody liked my videos. Nothing. Nobody saw the videos, like very few people. Something is wrong. So we created a new page, trying to get that established, and now I'm getting a lot of likes and stuff like that. It's like, oh, it's amazing. I don't know what happened. Like, when it comes to getting all this information together, it can be a lot. So, it's still in process. Stay tuned. I just put a video up on my other page, on my Shift with Gigi Star page. I made it so that you see that I'm ending that page and I'm starting a whole brand new page, and also a new Facebook and a Facebook group. And I'm working on putting that together. I'm not a big Facebook person, so I'm gonna have to get somebody else to do it or help me with that in some way. So I'll be getting that together, but that's not my go-to. I'm still going to stick with the Telegram because no, I understand how the social media stuff works, and Facebook is at this point a necessary evil, if that makes sense. But that doesn't mean I have to bathe in it. Oh, it's hey, it's no problem. No, there's no tardiness. This is not school. You're not gonna, you're not gonna have any problems. Somebody's saying that they were late and say, it's okay. So I'm switching over from Facebook. I'm switching over the Facebook page as well to a new Facebook name. It's the Shift with Gigi Star and a group in there. And the new page on Instagram, it's the Shift with Gigi Star. I've started that. TikTok has changed its name to It's the Shift with Gigi Star. Changed all those, and I'm putting them all together, and I'm going to be going live more often. I've been testing out some equipment. So you guys, this will be still here, but to see me live on like YouTube and also on TikTok and my Telegram group, I'll be connecting all those together. So you'll be seeing like new patterns coming August, but we're just setting these things up and going through changes. And with changes comes a lot of trials and tribulations. And with that, There is necessary, insistent on being persistent. And that's what today's class is going to be about. Today's class is going to be on persistence. So it's not going to be very long, because there's probably going to be a lot of questions, you know, and I want to be able to answer and help people. So I also forgot to mention that I have emergency coaching and group coaching that's coming up. Group coaching should be coming up in August. And maybe with the changes it might change, I don't know. The emergency coaching is there, it's available. I'm setting up a new course that I have done for my past workshop. And the people who already were in that workshop, they'll be in that for free if they want to. But that course is for manifesting money. So people that already paid for it, you're good. However, this new course is going to be at your own pace course, and it's not going to be long at all, but it's still going to be talking about manifesting money. I'm going to put that out there. It's going to be extremely reasonable price. Yeah, that's it. So with that, let us go into the class. So right now, we're dealing with persistence. And if you can't believe at first, just keep working on the story until you do. That's basically what it is. Now, you can call it whatever you want to call it. You can call it denial. You can say whatever you want to say. You have to persist through things. At first, when you're hearing stuff, when you hear people talk about going through persisting, it sounds like, when you're first starting, delusion. It sounds like you are fantasizing and, you're not being realistic. From what I have learned, when you are doing that out loud, then yes, it's going to appear that way. But when you are saying these things internally inside of your mind, and you're talking to yourself in a loving and kind way, where you're like, you know what, this is working out. It may look like this right now, but I see better. The mindset that you want to have going, that's the stuff that you want to have just pushing you forward. When you hear people saying, oh no, I'm getting this thing out loud, sometimes it's a defense mechanism because they don't truly believe it. And I guess if they hear them say it out loud, themselves say it out loud, then it's a bit more comforting. But generally, whenever I have met anybody that has really persisted in the true way and they've got difficulties going on, they are not saying to people, it's going to turn around. You're going to see all this stuff. They usually don't do that. And usually when they do that out loud, there's empty words, empty promises, no results, or they're just really, really having a hard time believing it themselves. So when you're doing this and you're persisting, you're going to find ways to help yourself believe that you can do something, that something is possible for you. However, you may think, but that's delusional. You're doing it anyways when you're like, I can't do that. It's not possible. Look at all this evidence. This not the statistics. Statistics say when you go into that, you're already doing it, but against yourself. You're fighting for your limitation. And these limitations are just actually bad habits. And you're breaking these bad mental habits. And these bad mental habits are usually tied in with self-deprecating thoughts, self-loathing, just really down on just yourself, and you don't really have confidence. When you're working on yourself, this is one of the reasons why, but one of the reasons why it's good to understand that you have to have self-love and what self-love is, because I need to do my nails badly. But that doesn't mean that I'm not doing self-love because I didn't do a bubble bath and I had to get my nails done, a facial. I'm working on my flowers because I really love flowers. Flowers make me happy. And so I put that first. Getting my space together that's going to help me be in a very happy way. It's going to help me calm myself. It's going to help me feel joy within myself. That is self-love. Pedicure, manicure, not done. However, I know that will help, but those flowers, that's going to make me even better. And then I can also do my nails later, like tomorrow, because this is a journey of every day doing something that's helping you feel better. Then you're going to take breaks, okay? When you're going through something and you're trying to persist. Now, the instinct is going to be, I need to continue on, not take a break. Breaks are for losers. Winners never lose and losers never win. Don't use drugs and all that good stuff. I don't know. The stuff that they would tell you back in the 80s in the commercials. Don't do those things. You're going to screw yourself over because you're going to push through, and the only thing I can think of is your electrolytes are going to be off. Your electrolytes, you're drinking all this stuff to help your electrolytes to be activated. Your electrolytes are very important, okay? But you stress yourself out, you're going to lose a lot of them. When you're going through physical stress in your life and you got to push through to do this thing, you're losing electrolytes. And you got to take a break and drink some water with some salt and potassium or something and vitamin C and calm yourself down. This is going to help build up your electrolytes. It's also going to give you a break from the thing that's stressing you the fuck out. Okay? Do not push through. You're wasting your precious energy. When you're taking breaks in doing things such as having a conversation with somebody you actually like, laughing with them, or sitting down and meditating, sitting down and just not even having a thought, just taking a deep breath. Feeling when you're having, especially the tension, your body will manifest, your body manifests the stuff that's stressing you out. And if you pay attention to it and calm it down, that is meditation. But I'm breaking that down for people that may not know. That is a form of meditation, but it's still something that helps you become a lot more aware, okay, of where you are. And if you're pushing through, you're not going to be aware of anything except, I gotta get this done. And then it just causes stagnation. It causes constipation, spiritual constipation. It causes no movement, rigid, just there's nothing. And then if it is, it's little, but it's just this struggle of stop, go. And then you find yourself doing the robot with the Struggle Brothers. You're doing the tango dance with the Struggle Brothers. Struggle Brothers are frustration, worry, stress. There's two more of them. They walk in packs. They walk with each other, and they just make you struggle, and just nothing gets accomplished. So this is where you're also setting time out to do what you actually like. People are like, I do not have time to do what that I actually like to do. There's no money in there, and I can't, and I have this, and you don't understand. I totally understand. But what's happening is that movement you're doing, that is you doing the robot with the Struggle Brothers. And they love to take up your time. They love it. And when they distract you from your purpose and what you're persisting towards, you find yourself not going anywhere. Or very little inch. This is going to be gross, but I have to bring it to reality so that you can understand what I'm talking about is repeated in different ways in your life. So bear with me. Deep breaths, you guys, is going to be about poop. Okay? I think it's one of my favorite subjects, quietly. I don't know why, because it's so relatable. When you are constipated and you are fighting to get whatever out, and it's just a little that comes out, you feel like you did all that work for nothing. What? All this? Yeah, that's exactly what happens when you're dancing with the Struggle Brothers with the thing that you're trying to persist through. So again, drink more water, take deep breaths, and sit. And when you sit and you let it just muscles relax, then you get more of a flow. And if you can't get it all out that same time, it is okay to stop, wipe, and get up, drink some water, and try to relax because you can do it again later. Okay? Sorry, I had to do that. I'm intending that you understand completely what I'm talking about. Some of you guys have the reverse. That right there, that's not the same because we're not talking about having too much. We're talking about having put so much in and you're trying to persist through the struggle and getting this little Hershey's kiss of a gift. Okay? So, if you can reflect upon times when you ever had that moment while you're using the bathroom, then that's what I'm talking about. Other than that, I don't know. So, next one here, reminding yourself of what your focus actually is very imperative because sometimes we think that the focus is the subject of something else. So we say, my focus is to get this money. However, I have to do it this way. And that's the only way. And then you start going into this, I gotta get this done. And you think that your focus is to get this money, but your actual focus is freedom. Whatever is gonna make me feel free right now. I don't have to worry anymore. That's what you're putting on to the money. But you're dancing the tango with the struggle brothers, and you're forgetting what your whole goal is. And then the goal is now get money and not feel free. Because when you actually embrace the feeling free, that's when the money comes. This story, does anybody know the story of the Wizard of Oz? Did anybody read the book? So somebody read the book. Kathy read the book. That's great. So, little story about a story inside of the Wizard of Oz for those of you that did not read the book and only watched, what is it, MGM, their video, their movie, I mean. The Tin Man has a story about how he became the Tin Man. And when you read the story as an adult, especially to little children, you realize this author was profound because he's so smart. He's telling you a story so that, like parents back in the day would read to their kids. Not all the time, but those books were, it was kind of a thing. I remember that when I was younger. Bedtime story. So they would read them and give them little messages. That's what all the fairy tales were supposed to be about. To give them little allegories to help them understand how life is. Right? And this particular story, the story of Wizard of Oz, the story inside of the story of the Tin Man, has an adult reading to a child very craftily the dangers of losing your focus on what you actually really want. When you're reading it to a child or just reading it as an adult, you're like, damn. This is so true. So let's get into the story. Story is Tin Man is a woodcutter. His family is a woodcutter. He lives with his parents and he's come of age. His parents die and he has nobody. And he's like, I want to have a family and a life and connection with people. Right now we just have texting. We think that people who are on Facebook are our friends, but that's not so. This is probably one of the reasons why we have one of the most majorest problems with depression right now. Because people they're not going with their instincts of connection. So he finds this munchkin girl. Yes, it's an interracial. Height, I don't know. Are munchkins different races? I don't know. I think they are. So let's call it interracial. He has an interracial thing. He is in love with a munchkin girl now. He finds her and he's like, I really like this girl. I'm going to marry you. And she says, I'm going to build a house. Because back then men knew how to work with tools and stuff like that. I mean, now they're not so much, but it's not a big deal. It's okay, you know. Anyways, he gets this girl. He says, I'm going to build a house, and when I build the house, we're going to get married, and we'll live happily ever after. Right? Now, the Munchkin, her mother, or was it her grandmother? I think it was one of the two, is living with her, and she now feels threatened because if she goes, then she has nobody. There's not going to be anybody there. She's going to be by herself. This is what she feels. You're going to take her love away from me. So she goes to the Wicked Witch of the East. Not the West, the one that had the house that was dropped on her was the Wicked Witch of the East. The Wicked Witch of the West is the one that was like, I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog too. Because she was so upset. You killed my sister. So she now goes to the Wicked Witch of the East to get her help to enchant this man's axe so that he would not be able to succeed in getting this house put together, so that she would never, be taken away from her, your daughter, whatever. And when that happens, he starts working on building this house. He builds and builds and builds. He's cutting and hacking all this wood. And one day that axe just falls and chops off his leg. And it's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Now I'll never be able to marry the love of my life. And I don't know how I'm going to fix this. I'm an invalid. I don't know I can't. So then this ironworks man that was up the place from where he is was like, oh, I can help you. I can build you a leg. So he builds him a iron leg, a tin leg. I wonder if that's really like, lead poisoning. Can you get tin poisoning? I don't really think it's good for the blood. I don't know. Anyways, so he builds him that leg, and then the Tin Man is like, you know what? It took some getting used to, but I was so determined. I did it. I went, got used to walking and axing, and then I, worked on hacking again. So he went back to work on that house. Now, keep in mind, he was on a break because he was trying to heal and all this kind of stuff. So that took time away. But he was still, my love for this woman is so intense. I'm going to do what I got to do. I did it. This is what I said I'm going to do. He does it. He starts going back to that, hacking up that wood so he can build that house. It's an enchanted axe. The next leg gets chopped off. Chops off his other only good leg. The Tin Man goes, the Tin Man goes to the ironworks guy. Please fix this. I need to go back to work. My love, I got this thing I want to do. No problem. Gives him another one. Goes back to work, hacks off his arm. And then he goes back, hacks off the other arm because he came back. He's determined. Hacks it off. And then a freak accident, because he went back with the hacked off legs and the arms, hacked off his head. I don't know. This is a story. This is a child's story. Don't ask me why he's still able to do that. I don't, but this is a story. Remember, we're following me. We're still in the Wizard of Oz in the story of the Tin Man, okay? So, he now gets a tin head. Goes back to work, just acting like crazy. And then the main source that he has to keep him alive, which is heart, it just hacks his body in half. Didn't get his heart. But again, remember, this is a fairy tale, okay? If it got his heart, it doesn't matter. It's a fairy tale. The ironworks man was walking by, just by happenstance, and saw this just happen. He was like, oh my God. Quickly put him together, got him a tin body. His whole entire body is now tin, but he forgot to put his heart back in. So he's still back to work now. He's mechanically going to work, working and fighting and persisting to get the thing that he said he wanted to do, which was this house, right? The house. So it starts to rain. And as it rains, he quickly rusts because, of course, he's made out of tin. He's in mid-swing. And he couldn't stop because he just was insisting on getting this wood together for the house. And he rusted. And he was there for a year, contemplating, why am I here? How come this happened to me? And he remembered the Munchkin girl and the love and wanting of connection and family and freedom and happiness. So he remorsed throughout that whole year of how he just totally forgot where he was and what he was trying to do with himself. And then, again, by happenstance, because anybody knows there are no coincidences. Coincidence is a name given to laws that are not understood. He's thinking things about what's going on and how he can wish he could fix it, and she comes through. Dorothy. No place like home. There's no place like home. That Dorothy. And then she sees that this Tin Man is there mid-swing, and she's like, oh my gosh, this is such an odd place. This Oz is so weird. They have tin people that froze. And then she hears a sound come out of his lips, because remember, he's rusted. He was not opening his mouth. He was just hacking away. Rusted his whole entire shit. It's all rusted. So she recognizes, wait a minute, this thing is alive. And she's looking around for oil can. And there's the oil can. He couldn't take the time out to take care of himself, to oil himself and help himself, with self-love. He had to persist on the house and forgetting about the insistence upon love, self-love, communication, connection. It became the focus became the house through his persistence. Then with that, she oiled him and he started to move and explained his story. And that is in the story of the Wizard of Oz. I encourage you guys to read it, especially with your adult mind. Wait till you get to the little China house, a China doll, China girl, the Chinatown. That's interesting. This is, by the way, Neville Goddard talking about persistence. But this is from a book, not his book, from a lecture, okay? And somebody's reading it, and I'm going to share my screen so that we can get this going. Okay.
When it appears that people other than yourself in your world do not act toward you as you would like, it is not due to reluctance on their part, but a lack of persistence in your assumption of your life already being as you want it to be. Your assumption, to be effective, cannot be a single isolated act. It must be a maintained attitude of the wish fulfilled. And that maintained attitude that gets you there, so that you think from your wish fulfilled instead of thinking about your wish, is aided by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled frequently. It is the frequency, not the length of time, that makes it natural. That to which you constantly return constitutes your truest self. Frequent occupancy of the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the secret of success.
So if you guys are interested in where that came from, there was a whole video. It's longer than that. I just took a little snippet of it. You can aim your camera at that, take a picture of it, and you can get that reference there with that QR code. I'm going to hit these QR codes very strong because I'll tell you what, I'm seeing it pop up more and more and more on the social media. So does anybody have any questions about what I had said? Okay, so I hope that you guys are able to see that. And then here, this is my QR code. I'm really trying to do these QR codes. All right. This is the way that you can reach me. Take a picture of it once again, and your camera should automatically see the code, and you should be directed right to my Linktree account. If you have an iPhone, if you have an Android, I think there might be an app, like I said. And this right here is what I was talking about, my emergency coaching. If you guys need help and you're trying to find out about a situation that's gone on and you're confused and you want to help fast, you can reach out with this. And it's a 2-week process, okay? It's not going to be, I'm going to talk to you for an hour and then that's it. It's going to be, I'm going to talk to you for an hour and a half, because it takes that long sometimes to get people off the ledge. People think that's a long time. When you're in duress and you're doing a verbal regurgitation, you don't recognize the time. It is, whew. And then usually people are like, oh my God, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, because it really messes with you. So that first week, hour and a half. The following week is going to be 30-minute. And these are all Zoom calls, okay? And the 30-minute is to follow through and see how everything went. If the advice helped you, if you need any extra anything, and that's it. 2 weeks. And I don't know anybody that's doing that, but I know it's very necessary. So this is also my group coaching. It's coming up August 4th, and it seems like people think that you're supposed to just do this all on your own. You're not. Don't think that you're doing this by yourself is the only way. You have to be around people to see results, to bounce off energy and recognize where you need to be to get to where you want. And sometimes it's not pretty and sometimes it's not fun. You don't run and hide when the boogeyman comes out. You don't do that. This is a part of the persistence that Neville was talking about. You gotta keep going. You dust yourself off and you gotta try it again. But when you have a group of people that are around you, they will help you recognize you're running away from your problems and you're not dusting yourself off right now. You are wallowing in stuff and you not always able to see your blind spots. So this group is there to help people with their blind spots. And the group is going to be a 5-week thing. It's 5 weeks and it's going to be an hour and a half, and then we'll be able to sit and talk and work through all the stuff, understand where we're going wrong or right, or what things have come up to help us move through to the next level. And these are extremely helpful because you're building a form of connection, and that's what we are. We are people, we're connectors. We're meant to be together. We're meant to get together and grow, and connect and communicate. If you have a baby and you do not ever touch or communicate or do anything with this baby, you'll end up having a shell of a person. And they have proven that. What was it, back in the 80s when they had these poor orphanages with these children that were born healthy, but they just rocked to have some sort of comfort. Okay? That's essentially what happens when you're doing this stuff by yourself. You need to have somebody to help you, hold you verbally, mentally, hold you to the fire, hold you to the, hey, no, I think you're being too hard on yourself, and hold you to that, no, you did an amazing job, because Lord knows we love to sit there and act like, nah, I didn't do that. I know I do. Did I do that? That whole presentation that you saw, I put it together by myself. There was nobody except for, the Neville video. I put that all together. When I first worked with that program, you couldn't tell me that I was going to be doing this. Okay? I was like, I'm not going to be able to learn all this. This is not. I put that whole thing together. And I learned a whole lot of other things. And I have to take pause sometimes and be like, damn, you's a bad mamma jamma. What? Look at you. Look at where we are. Sometimes we got to do that. And sometimes people say things to help you recognize, oh yeah, I did do that. Q and Steve Urkel, did I do that? Yes, back from the 90s, right? Family Matters. You guys, it's good to have help. So that group coaching is coming up. Now with that, I am finished, and I wanted to know if you guys have any questions about what I've mentioned. If anything's popped up for you that you want to ask or talk about, please let's close this out with the next 10 minutes and see what happens. Okay, I'm a little confused with whether my focus is about persistence. No, your focus is about what you're wanting to feel at the end of what you're trying to get. And the persistence is the motivation, the momentum, the continuing of what it is that you need to do to get to that feeling, to experience it in 3D life. That's what that's supposed to be about. So when you're persisting, okay, so say you're looking for changes inside of your life where you're going to feel like you have a great connection, you have great friends, you have a great love life, you have a great money flow, but around you everything is like this can't be this can't be my beautiful house. This can't be what it is. Oh, you guys, I think in ways of like music, and the song that comes to mind is "Letting the Days Go By." This is the same as it ever was. And he starts off by saying, "And you may find yourself living in the shotgun shack, and you may find yourself with a beautiful wife and a beautiful house, and you ask yourself, well, how did I get here?" You know, it's one of those things where you're in a place where you don't want to be, and you're like, how did I get here, and how do I get there? When you get to that, focus of, no, I'm here, and I'm not, I don't know how, I don't even want to know how I got here. I want to know how I'm going to get there. And you just keep going and keep going and keep going. That's what you're supposed to be doing when it comes to persistence. I'm learning to stop and reflect faster when challenges present like right away. That's great. Yes, that's what you want to do. You want to be like, oh, wait a minute, let me take a deep breath. There's a reason why this is happening. Okay, so take pause for sure. And thank you, Diana. I'm glad that I gave you a good explanation, because when I was going through learning all of this stuff, it was like a whirlwind. It was like, I don't even know. And then things seem to be separate where they're not separate. Like when I tell you about your imagination and staying in your focus and all that stuff, and then you hear other people that are spiritual channels and like your third eye, make it seem like it's this far off thing. You gotta open up your third eye. Gosh darn it! Where are the eye drops? I need that. Let's third eye open up now. Put life support to it. Why am I not? And then the same moment you're like, what am I eating from breakfast? I just got up. Do I have coffee? And then you're thinking with your third eye. And people are like, yeah. They're like, yeah, you gotta use your third eye. Like it's this mysterious thing. Meanwhile, you're using that third eye for the most wickedest of thoughts about yourself and where you are and against you, because you don't know what the third eye is. And you know, like, I don't have a third eye. I'm not spiritual. No, you're just not quiet enough, and nobody's ever explained to you that that thing that you use to find out, do you have enough toilet paper at home? That's your third eye, and you're using it. It's like Superman being used to flip burgers at McDonald's. It's like, you can do a lot more than do flip the burgers at McDonald's. No shade to anybody that works there as a job, but we're talking about Superman. This is metaphorically, which is you using your powers to flip burgers. It's no. So Superman at this point doesn't know who he is. And that's you not knowing who you are and what your capabilities are. Oh no, I'm sorry, not all of us are Superman. Yes, you all are Superman in that you have the abilities like everybody else to use your third eye, which is your imagination, which is the same thing that's like, okay, once I finish flipping these burgers, I'm going to get the fries. Once I finish flipping these burgers, I'm going to go get the fries. That's your third eye. You get the burgers and you go to the fries now. But that's all you're using it for. That's it. You can go fly. You can go to Ireland and get potatoes. Bring them right back in seconds. You're not doing that. You're not doing it. So you have to understand that's kind of what's going on when we are misinformed about what the third eye is, when we're misinformed about who we are and what our capabilities are. And it makes life much harder than what it is. And then when you start to learn about it, it gets frustrating because you think that it's going to be a long time to get there. but recognizing that you had a many years of not thinking that the way that that will help you, get to where you want, that is what you're you have muscle memory for. So your mind is habitually doing having the bad habit of thinking that you can't do these things. So the third eye is like the gut feelings. The third eye is attached to your gut feelings. Okay, so now we're going to get really deep. The third eye, let's just see it this way. Where do you have white underwear and where are they located? Now, you yourself would be like, yes or no. I have them and they're located in the third drawer, in the corner of my room, blah, 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 blah. That's you literally using your third eye because you know where it is, but you don't have your gut attached to it. When you're attaching your gut, and here's a fun and interesting fact, your gut or your stomach is your this whole gut area is considered your second brain, okay, of the body. And this is your brain, of course. This is where your brain is, and it's where the third eye is. Third eye is connected with the gut. They're both connected. Your brain and your gut are connected as well, and they're very important for each other. The gut feeling is when you have a tied in your emotions with your third eye, basically, and then the body responds. And we shut that off too. We have shut that off. We have a lot of uncertainty, a lot of worry and fear. We love to dance with the Struggle Brothers. So that's a bit different. Third eye is the mundane thing. Like I said, where are your underwear? Do you have enough toilet paper? What are you going to have for breakfast tomorrow? That's the third eye. Gut feeling is when you have the emotions tied in with, or just, yeah, your emotions stirring, that feeling, the mind starts to connect and this whole thing goes on, or it's kind of like, I know. And that's a powerful force, okay? So, for clarity, but I'm talking about using just the third eye, and by nature, when you start to use this and connect with this, the gut feeling will tie in very well and you'll be right on. So, yeah, that's my whole thing on persistence. And you guys, I appreciate you guys coming through and asking me the questions, even though it's, through text. No problem. You do not have to talk, but I appreciate your guys' presence and you guys sticking it out. And I do ask that you guys, if you want the email to be sent with this lecture, please leave your emails inside of this chat so I can copy and paste it, and put it towards the link because it's supposed to be saved, and you'll have more. You'll be able to come through this class and see everything again. Is the gut feeling, intuition, and more? Yeah, I would say that that's the connection. So when we talk about gender, we think it in a totally different way than what it's actually supposed to be, which is masculine and feminine energy. And you've got the masculine and feminine energy is connecting and creating. That's the only way. You can't have the different ends of the pole. So you got the plus, which is masculine, and you got the minus, which is feminine. If you want the light to work, you have to make sure that they are on the opposite. Like you can't have a masculine and feminine and feminine. The light switch won't work. This is where the homophobia comes in the churches, and that has nothing to do with this. And to clarify, just so, because we were like, how? Because now again, people are thinking, especially people who have that in their mind, they're thinking about sexual organs and not reflecting upon that there are women that have masculine energy and there are men that have feminine energy, and they will connect. And there are people of the same sex that have more masculine and more feminine energies. You get what I mean? And so even with twins, you're going to always find one more dominant than the other. I can think about, I've got 3 sets of twins in my family, and which one's the dominant one and which one is not. And they're all identical twins, by the way. So you look, you know. I'm gonna copy this just for clarity, so that people are not like, oh, Larry, now you're just being homophobic. And it's like, no, 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 no. We're not talking about the same things, because two men can be together and one can be more masculine and one can be more feminine. And they don't even have to be together romantically. You can have friends that are, one is more dominant. The guy, my friend, is a sensitive guy, you know. And the other guy is like, oh, I don't really like and there's nothing wrong with it, okay? But I'm just pointing out that there's energies, and that's within all of us. We all have masculine and feminine, and when they connect, they create all the things that we are wanting. That's what happens. So, anyways, that is it for you guys. I am over it. It has been a pleasure, and I thank you, guys, and I will catch you soon. Bye.